So today we're going to go over our commanders for Strixhaven. We got some pretty neat commanders, some kind of hefty in the cost, but some also pretty cool in doing stuff. Before we get into it, I would like to say we're going to go over a small few of the commanders and just place them where I think they should be based on their CMC. It's a nice way to filter out the commanders. Generally, it doesn't mean they're bad, it just means that they have a high CMC, and so they're probably more times than not going to end up in the battlecruiser or low power compared to the high power slash competitive, because you might not make it there and then high power and competitive. So let's knock a few of those out. First, you have E6 Fractal Bloom. It's a Simic commander. You're probably going to get there, but I don't think it pulls its weight in regards to its cost. So we're going to put that there. Deca, 5 mana, it's a lot. Battlecruiser, Octavia, it's an octopus. That's all I can say. Tevash, which is not Tevesh. Fun fact. Probably not too strong. Might be going in Battlecruiser. We also got Ryonya. I'm sorry if I butchered these. I know I'm going to butcher a lot of them. Maybe not the strongest. Elbow at 5 mana. Doesn't have too much card advantage, and is kind of narrow in what its applications can be used for. We're going to put that in Battlecruiser. Let's see, what else do we got? What else can we... A lot of the Elder Dragons, they are pretty costly at 5 mana. They don't do too many crazy things. So we can put Shadrix probably at 5. That's probably a safe 5, right? We can put something like Belladros, 7 mana for an untap once per turn. Sorry, dude, you're going here. You're going there, bruh. Galazeth Prismari. Honestly, one of the Elder Dragons that I think might be okay. I think I'm fine with keeping this here for now. 4 mana is not too crazy to get at, especially playing blue and red. You have a lot of treasures that you can get to get this out quickly. So maybe we'll just keep it there for now. Velomachus, my favorite of Lorehold. I'm gonna put this at Battlecruiser. Arguably, though, I think the dragons could probably go in low power. I think low power would be fine for them. They've got relatively strong effects. We've got Quandrix, Mr. Quandrix, because Tenazir, is that how you say it? That's gonna be put Battlecruiser. All right. I think that's good. I think that's a nice, decent filter of like okay commanders here. We do have Luca. Probably not the best. It reminds me of Lord Windgrace, but at 6 mana, I don't think you want that effect. Especially being in like Boros. I don't think you want to be that effect. You don't want to have that effect. Also got Jadzi. This is a sick commander. Super costly though. I do want to say though, playing blue-green, if you can get to this, like maybe you just like pop off, right? With Jadzi, you start using the Magecraft and start just cascading. You can return to it's got protection. This is a debatable. I think I would put this in low power. Like if you played that in a low power compared to something like a Essex, like this guy or gal, Jadzi, whoever's using that, is gonna pop off and just blow out their whole deck on the table. I think that's good. I think that's good. There might be one more missing. Nazari? What do we think about Nazari? Is Nazari going in low power? Battlecruiser. Beginning your upkeep, exile top card of each one's library. That's a pretty neat ability. It's card draw. I would say I could comfortably put that in low power. 5 mana, and then you have to wait a turn. Put that in low power. Put you right there, bud. Hope you like it. Hope you're nice and comfy. Can put Quintorius. That is a cool name, Quintorius. You're going right there, bud. 5 mana. Doesn't do too much. And requires some setup. What else can we put there? What else can we put in that nice little comfy low power section? Hoffrey? I think Hoffrey is debatable. Like you play Hoffrey and then you have another card. Maybe if you have a sack outlet, you can end up like getting some triggers off of non-token creatures. Like Recruiter the Guard, stuff like that. Dockside Extortionist. You just sack it, you get twice the value. Hoffrey is debatable, although I think it's kind of hefty. I think I could definitely see this in like a high power. I think that can stay there for now. All right, Cool. We have our set of battle cruisers. Tell me what you guys think. Is this fine for now? Of course, I'm not done going over it, but all right, let's get over some other cards. Brina the Demagogue, 1 black and a white flying. Whenever a player attacks one or more opponents, if that opponent has more life than other opponents, another opponent, attacking player draws a card, and you put 2++ counters on creatures you control. This can get out of hand pretty fast. Relatively fast. I think this is safe to say mid power. Like probably gonna be best in mid power, or like aggro decks, or people are like floundering about, don't have the most efficient mana rocks, not playing their moxes and everything. This could, it's low, and if you're playing aggro, I could definitely see this popping off. Lochelle, Clockwork, Scholar. I thought about this card. I like the fact that it's drawing cards, but I don't think there are too many artifact creatures that you want to play. So I think I'm putting this in Battlecruiser / low power. I think low power is stretching it a little bit, but I could. I think Battlecruiser is the best place you want to put Lochelle. Neat card though. Neat card. Let's see. Felisa, Fang of Silverquill. 2 in a black and white for flying with Mentor. Whenever an unknown creature you control dies, I've had a counter on it. Create X tap 2/1 Blackling Inklings for X number of counters on it. That can get pretty cool, right? Like, it just requires you to put counters on your stuff. Of course, you've got your... Do you have your Machias combo with this? When a creature with a counter dies, create a 2/1. It's any counter, too. Whenever an unknown creature with a counter dies on it. If it had counters on it. I could see this being like... It's kind of weird, but mid power, like maybe even high power if there's some crazy combo with this. I think mid power is fine at this. With that being said, looking back at Brina, I think she's going in low power. Having your opponents draw a card, I don't think you want to be that. I don't think it's going to be as good as being in mid power here. Maybe this is debatable putting in high power if there's a crazy combo with it. Black and white's got a lot of tutors. Maybe there's some combo with that. Nils, Discipline Enforcer. It's a ghostly prison effect on a creature. If creatures have counters on them, you basically can't attack the player with Nils. Vagrant Voice of Duality. This is comfortably going in red. If you're casting a copy of an instant or a sorcery, if you casting or copying an instant or sorcery cause you trigger ability to permanent to trigger additional time. I don't know what you would want with this. I guess Isoquant Scepter could work decently with this. It just copies it, the permanent, so it goes off doubly. Look, we found a way to do Isoquant Scepter. I'm gonna put this in high power. I think this is high power. I think Viren could be high power. Thane the Broker. Sacrifice a creature, put 2 counters on a target creature. Remove a counter from a creature, create a treasure token. Sacrifice an artifact, create a 2/1 Inkling. That's a lot to create an Inkling. Okay, realistically, if you're building a deck with this dude, you're just getting Treasure Tribal, maybe? That way you sacrifice an artifact, or Artifact Tribal, sacrifice an artifact to make 2/1s. It looks fun. Is there a way to break this? If you need infinite mana... I feel like this is just doing too much. Too many extra steps. There's probably some cool thing to do with this, but... I'm stumped. Mid power or low power? I think I'm going to put it mid power for now. Guillaume Master Chef. I think it's cool. Cool ability and everything. I think I'm going to put that mid power. It's in Golgari, so I think it can handle the low power. It can handle low power and mid Battlecruiser. Layla, the Blade Reforged. It's basically just card draw on a red hasty. It's something crazy. I think this is Battlecruiser. Willow Dusk, Essenseer. Choose another target creature, put any number of +1 counters on it, equal to the amount of life you gain this turn, or the amount of life you lost this turn, whichever is greater. This is weird. Is there a deck that has like some crazy life lost, life gain strategy in Golgari that wants to play a card like this? I don't think so. This is probably mid power as a commander, right? I mean, green can gain a lot of life. It requires creatures to gain a lot of life. Black can sort of unconditionally make... Wait, is it... It's life you gain this turn or amount of life you've lost this turn. You can lose a lot. You can lose a lot of life from black. I would say mid power. It's because it's the amount of life you lost this turn, and black can lose a lot of life. All right, Ruxa, my boy, my bear druid. I'm putting Ruxa complementary mid power. I think this card is decent. It does a little reliant on the commander, but hear me out. If you have creatures and you can reliably get your non-ability creatures out with Ruxa, I think you're doing some mid-power shenanigans. I think you're doing it right. Eudora, Grave Gardener, the Morph Extravaganza. I don't know. This card can do some cool things with Morph. I think it's like really close to Nashaya. Ashaya is pretty strong. Even got some fringe Ashaya decks with Ashaya. I would say mid power. You have to go through a couple more hoops though. But I think it's mid power. If I'm putting Ruxa there, I think Eudora can go there. Alright, my Boros bro. Azure the Reconstructor. Vigilance. Sacrifice an artifact. X and tap. Exile artifact with value X from your graveyard. Create 2 of those other cards that were exiled. You get some value out of it, which is neat. The question is, how much value are you getting out of this? Like, what kind of deck would want that? Can we see? I don't know if there's any crazy Azure decks. I want to say no. There's no crazy thing other, like maybe Dready's just better. Of course, you get access to white, but is that really worth it? Is that worth it? Full Metal Alchemy. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? There's a decent amount of combos, even with infinite mana. Doesn't seem that crazy. You need some setup. I'm going to say mid power. Adrix, Nev, Twin Casters, Ward. Okay, if non-token creature would create under your control, let's create twice that many tokens instead. If one or more non-tokens, if one or more tokens would be created. So this just needs tokens. Mid power. Mid power. This is a mid power value engine. It's Simic. It can do things. Blex, the Vesting Pest. I was gonna say Blex the Blessed. This little boy is going in Battlecruiser. It's cute, but I don't think it's good. Exetus Overlord. This card I've seen some neat things with. I think it could definitely be interesting if you go a Mardu sack route or Mardu spell slinging route with this reanimation route. I think this could be firmly high power. Embrem, Dean of Theory. Requires a tap to do things. 4 mana. He's flying. It's 3 power. I think this is low power. You don't really want X to be too high, or else you're probably going to lose some stuff. Kian, Dean of Substance. I guess it's fair you have to sort of understand these two together. Kian and the other Dean. I guess with all the Deans. But the problem with that is they can't be played together. And I think more times than not, I don't know, I haven't played too many flip side as commander. You usually play the side you want your deck to be built around, because if your deck is built around both, you kind of get middle of pack, jack of all trades and not master of any, and so your deck becomes a little less consistent, I think. So I think we're going to have to base them separately here. So with Kian, Dean of Substance, 3 mana, exile top card of your library. If it's a land, put it into your hand, otherwise put a study counter on it. I definitely see you want these two together, but in context of EDH, they're not going to do too much. And this is just not getting you too much value. You exile the top card, and then if it's not something you can use, it's just gone forever. Unless you play Embrem. It has a study counter on it, so you can still get it back from exile. It'll take forever though. Low power for you. Mila, Crafty Companion. This is a neat card in Boros. I do like the fact that you can go Planeswalker focus with this. And whenever someone tries to destroy your stuff, you draw a card from it. So they're down a card and you are basically netting 0. For that, I'll put it mid power. Nice little card. Augusta, Dean of Order. I don't think there's too much going for this card. I think it's nice for like an aggro shell, maybe. So we're going to put it low power. Plarg, Dean of Chaos. One of my favorites. I don't see too much going for this. There's some ideas around there floating with the whole make your deck 3 mana, 3 mana card, then you can just tutor for it basically with Plarg. I guess I could see that, but there's no crazy cards you want to be playing in Boros that want to do some crazy game-breaking thing. Like, Balance is fine, but it's not going to break the game, right? I think the 5 mana thing is more of a card draw ability in red, not like a combo ability. Then we've got discard a card, draw a card. That's kind of like a baby Jace here in red. I think I'm going to put this in low power. Definitely a card I want to make, though. Make a deck round. Got Ambrose, Dean of Shadow. Put up one counter on target creature. Another target creature. Then Ambrose, the Shadow deals 2 damage to that creature. Whenever creature control, that one dies, draw a card. This is interesting, too, because Kian, aka his son, apparently has been treated rough, I think, from lore by his dad. And so him being able to kill his son is kind of weird, to be honest. Dealing the 2 damage. I don't know if that has any merit about the lore, but like the whole 2 damage thing, being able to kill the 2 mana creature Kian is interesting. I think I'm gonna put this in low power. 4 mana, not too crazy of a set of abilities. Shielding of Radiance. This is going to be put into, let's see, on each creature that enters the battlefield this turn. So it's tapping every turn. You're making your creatures a little larger. I guess you're going wide with this. If you're going wide with this, does that change much? You're going aggro. If you're going aggro in black and white, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm saying this is low power. Uvita, Dean of Perfection, 2 and a blue, legendary creature, Djinn Wizard. You may exile instant sorcery card from your hand and put 3 hone counters on it. At the beginning of upkeep, if the card is exiled, move the hone counter on it. And when the last hone counter is removed this turn, you may cast it. It costs 4 less to cast. That's kind of cool. It's kind of like, what is it? Suspend? That costs 4 generic less. It's a 3 mana. I'm feeling mid power with this one. This could be definitely cool. It does take some time, but you're playing blue and red. I think we can go there. Lizette, Dean of the Root, 2 and a green. Whenever you gain life, may pay 1. If you do, put a counter on creatures you control, and those creatures can trample to end a turn. At 4 mana. This could be mid power, right? Green, you get a lot of mana. Pump up your creatures. It's very slow. I'm saying low power, actually. I think this is very close to low power, mid power. Green, you're getting a lot of mana, so you can pump a lot of creatures up real quick. But what about the meantime? We'll put it low power. Low power for now. Valentino, Dean of Vayne, a black for Menace Lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it. When you do, pay 2. If you do, create a 1/1 black pest. Next this is Dina Soul
pretty
Steeper. Slow. I think we'll put it. Golgari. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. 1 sacrifice another creature. Dina gains X power. X is the power of a sacked creature for 2. Doesn't really provide too much card advantage. Probably has a combo going for it. Whenever you gain life. Is there a black combo that gains life? That doesn't just win the game by itself? I don't know. I think this could go mid power. Could it? Is that being too generous? We can put Dina. Put Dina low power. Dina can go low power. Galazeth Prismari, 2 and a blue red for legendary Elder Dragon flying. When it ETBs, you gain a treasure, so it's essentially a 3 mana Elder Dragon. Artifacts you control have tap, add this 1 mana Add 1 mana of any color, spend it to cast instants or sorceries. You're playing blue-red, you're doing a lot of that already. So it creates a mana rock, you're playing Dockside, and maybe some other treasure generators. This could probably, and some untappers. You can probably play the blue packages and red stuff. So Isoquant Scepter, Dranic Reversal combos going off with this. This could probably be competitive. I'm gonna put high power for now. Kian, Ink Duelist, white and black. Spells that target creatures, cost 2 less, lifelink menace. I think this is comfortably B mid power. Hoffrey Ghostforge, 3 and a red and a white spirit, gain trample and haste, and +1/+1. Also, whenever non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a copy of it. Whenever the copy dies, return the exiled card to the graveyard. I think there's some combos that can be had with this, so I'm gonna put it in mid power. You definitely get value out of your ETB creatures, so that can be comfortably put in mid power. Mavinda, that's going in Battlecruiser. 8 mana for like a feather-like ability. That doesn't really, I don't know. You don't really get too much out of that being a white as well. Mid power, or Battlecruiser. Rutha, Mercurial Artist, 1 and a red, 2 mana, return Rutha to your hand, copy target instant source player. You control. Okay, you have to control it. So it's a tempo loss kind of, because you have to return it back. It doesn't require you to tap. So if you have 5 mana, you can do this immediately. But on a 2 mana spells, do you want to do that? I don't think so, but cool ability. Put low power. Zimone, Quandrix Prodigy, green and a blue. Tap Zimone, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. Tapped. 4 mana, draw a card. Simic Value Engine. I think this is obligatory high power. I mean, you can't do anything crazy with it, can you? Isoquant Scepter, you can draw your deck. Put her high power. Cody, Phosphorus Codex, you can't play permanent spells. You can't cast permanent spells. This could be mid power. 3 generic comes out early. When you cast your next spell this turn, exile the cards from the top of your library. You don't have really any control. It could be an interesting build around. I think it could be safe to put mid. Safe to put mid power. Then we have Zafi, Thunder Conductor. Magecraft. 4 mana, 1/4. 4 mana for 1/4, holy crap. When you cast a copy of instant sorcery, you try 1. If that spell's mana value is 5 or greater, create a 4/4. If that spell's mana value is 10 or greater, does 10 damage to an opponent choosing at random. So once it casts, you build big chunky spells. That's generally Battlecruiser. Alright, so this is our rough draft of our Strixhaven cards boiled. I think this is a relatively decent list thus far. We can move a few things, I think, and still be relatively where it'll probably settle out. Looking at these here, I think generally the Battlecruiser cards don't really have too many combos going for them. They have one-time triggers, or they're relatively shackled by their mana costs, or their ability is shackled by their mana costs, or their ability is just hampered by the fact that they're going too much in one direction or don't provide enough value. However, there are some cards that do provide a lot of value and can be easily take over a game, except the CMC is just way too high. I'm looking at you, Belladros, Wither Bloom, Velomachus, Lorehold. However, Shadrix, he offers opponents abilities, offers opponents chances to advance their board state, while you can advance your board state, and he's 2/5. Don't think you're getting too much for that, unfortunately, so we're going to keep them there. I think Belladros and Velomachus can probably put in low power. Being able to untap all your lands can be pretty big, except that CMC is just rough. That's a rough CMC. Velomachus, Lorehold, I think it could be safe to put him there. I think this is fine. I think this is fine for low power. Of course, if you do build your decks around both the MDFCs, you're gonna water your deck down a little bit, I think, and so you can have. I think there's a universe where Luca could be like put into low power. All right, looking at low power, let's see what we have. There's some combos in here that we could get, perhaps. Maybe it would be decent. Looking back at this low power, though, I think Nils is probably even lower than low power. Jadzi is probably fine. Brina, giving your opponents card draw is bad, but being in low power is not too much interaction, and giving your creature, giving 2+1 counters on a creature can be pretty cool because it's gonna get fast pretty quickly, and if everyone's attacking, your creatures are gonna get pretty big pretty quickly, and also people are drawing cards. It's gonna be pretty problematic if they're drawing cards because they're probably gonna end up killing Brina, but hopefully you invested your eggs into multiple baskets so that it's not gonna be too much of a problem. You're playing black and white. Black's gonna get the tutors that you need, so maybe this can stay in low power. Guillaume, I think maybe I'm doing too nice with this, but it's Golgari, so it's got a lot of value. You can sack stuff to get indestructible. You can swing with this as trample. Maybe you suit him up. It can be pretty spicy of a time. Ibrahim, I think low power is being too generous. Like I said, like Isoquant Scepter with this thing, you're popping off, right? Tap, exile the top one card. Then you may put a card you own into your hand. So you just draw your deck with this. Yeah, it's the problem with like being in blue. It's like, just play Isoquant Scepter. You just win with anything if it has like any sort of ability. We'll keep it like that. Willow Dusk, I don't know. Kian, Dino Substance. I'm kind of feeling like this should go lower. Putting a land into your hand is cool. It's like drawing a card, but if you exile something from the top, and this basically just is a 3 mana, exile top card of your library, not gonna be too crazy, not gonna be too spicy. It's kind of slow to feel the second ability as well. So I think I'm gonna put this in low power. Augusta, Dean of Order. I'm not feeling it. Maybe a fast aggro deck. It gets +1/+0 when you attack a creature. Untap each of the creature control. Tap any number. This could be. Could it go any lower? Should this be lower? I think this should be lower. +1/+0 isn't too crazy. Vigilance on the aggro creatures, probably not the best. They're probably small. They can't take a bullet. I don't know. They can't take any damage. They're probably gonna die anyways. So the vigilance probably won't matter too much. Augusta can probably get it. Probably go a little lower. I think. Alright, then we have Ambrose, Dean of Shadow. It's got card draw. If you're putting counters on your creatures and they're dying, this is probably fine. Exetus, Dean of Shadow, Dean of the Root, I'm sorry. 4. Alright, 4 mana. Probably doesn't do too much. Right? If you do put some counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain 1 mana to give all your creatures +1/+1. Too many hoops, right? You gotta have creatures, you gotta gain life, then you gotta pay the mana. Maybe that's too many hoops. I think we're gonna put Lazetta and Battlecruiser. Valentino the Vein. 1 mana. Okay, menace lifelink. When a creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. When you do, create a pest. So it's like a small little hate bear thing. Probably low power. Doesn't do too much by itself. It requires your opponents to lose creatures, so and you have to pay mana once they lose to create a small pest. Probably not worth it. Alright. I think this is fine. I could see Willow Dusk probably staying here. It's not doing too much crazy. But you're playing black, there's so many ways to lose life. I can see this being pretty crazy. Especially if you like a hatred or something. Like this, it's sorcery. Oh, actually only has a sorcery. That could be pretty scary. At lower power, are people playing Bolt though? I don't think people are playing Bolt. This could probably be low power. There's so many ways to lose life though. This could be pretty scary. This could one-shot someone. But it's going to be, like, you're going to be able to tell, right? I think black can pay a lot of mana at low mana value. I think this could stay here. Rutha probably needs some setup, but can stay here. Dina, I'm not sold completely on. But I'm feeling like there's something there. But for now, we're going to put Dina in Battlecruiser. Think that's good. Let's see. We didn't really... Sorry. I feel like Nazari can like pop off a little bit though. 5 mana for an engine that exiles the top card of each one's library. Like this could probably be put here. It's card draw. Attrition's the name of the game. It's got... You can play 3 mana board wipes to keep the aggro off a little bit, right? But low power, 3 mana is not going to... Like, 3 damage isn't going to matter too much. There's not too many utility creatures, I don't believe, maybe. We can... I don't know. I don't know about that one. Dika. If you have... If you have Isoquant Scepter, there you go. Okay. All right, I think this is fine. I think this is Gucci. Mid power. All right, Felisa, I think is fine. Fane, got to go through a few hoops. Probably low power. Ruxa, I think is fine. Eudora, I think is fine. Azure is fine. Edric's fine. Mila, fine. Villa, Kian, Hoffrey, I think this is fine. I think this is fine. All right. I think what we got here is Gucci. There's some changes you can make. I think you can make an argument for at least moving most of these up or down a single tier. But I think generally here is what we got is fine. There's nothing that completely stands out as completely crazy or super broken. I think this is all Gucci here. But as per usual, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'll catch you guys later. What do you guys think about this list? What do you guys think about the tiers? Do you guys think high power should be these, consist of these, should be more? Let me know in the comment below. Peace out.